OMG. I'm finally in a new place. Surprise. I moved. Same towels. I don't have a dye on it, and I love it too much. Kind of looks like a sad face. I love it. Anyways, this is the new place. Do you want to see? I don't know. It's a little messy. The bathroom. Nice and big. Oh, more that. The bedroom. I finally get to put one of my favorite pieces of art I had made on the wall. The closet, it's just dismal AF. The bed, the TV. The fit reveals are gonna go so crazy in here because I finally, like, it's barely visible. Barely fucking visible, but I did put lights up. I actually did this myself. Yeah, thank you. One thing I did not do by myself was the shelf. Shout out Kevin. Here's some stuff on here. I can't really see up on that one, so I'm not sure what to put there, but yeah. And then I put some books down here. And I have some artwork on the walls. Here is my tiny kitchen, all my cups. There is no storage. What you see is what you get. Truly, come this way. These are the cabinets that I have to use that step stool to get into every time. And here's the shoe rack. All the stuff I haven't unpacked. Oh, there's this pink couch. Little memories up here. It's kind of books, little chair to rock in. Yeah, that's kind of literally it. Oh yeah, more memories. So I'm doing my makeup really quick. That's not at all what this video is about. Sorry for making you think you were clickbaited, but honestly, it's fine. A lot has happened since I've moved. It also feels like nothing has happened at the same time.
No.
But I had this like really profound thought last night while I was in bed watching Fruits Basket, putting together my research prospects for my English course. And that was, you never know it's your first love until you have your second. And then you never know that's like your second until, well, I've never had a third, but you know what I'm saying. I know it's not that deep. I know everyone's gonna be like, we know, bitch. We know, we were waiting for you to know. Jan! Oh. Bye. Bye, honey. I just like, again, like I really, my frontal lobe is developing. I feel weird. I feel weird about it. I don't know what's going on. The reason I'm like, okay, so like the reason it even came to mind, right? There's no setting spray left. So, as I'm laying there on the computer, Fruits Basket on the TV, I was just like, damn. Like I was really, I hate to say cringe in a bad way, because you know I love cringy things. But cringe in a bad way. I guess in a way where it makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, you're just as crazy, FYI. You're just on medication, I'm not, and that's the difference.
To think about in my first, like, real relationship. And also, this is not a video where I'm digging into them as people. If you want to watch that, there is tons of that on this channel, but this is not any like sort of like specifics or any tea about anything really. Like this is not tea. This is just me talking about my little self in these perspectives, okay? Because like my perspective has changed a lot. Boy, what the hell? What the hell? Okay. Okay, so we're going with a lowbrow today. We're just going to get a coffee and macaroons. That's my entire day today. Booked and busy. Naturally, as I've talked about in like every video, the world is falling apart. There are terrible, horrible, no good people in power, which is how it's always been. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm a huge fan of the Democratic Party, because I'm not. But I do think we had some better options. And things could have been a whole lot different. But anyways, it's causing me to have all these like thoughts. And I'm also in philosophy class, so that's also like my whole coursework. Like to me, I'm studying thinking. I'm studying conceptions of how knowledge is formed and what it's based on. That's it. That's all I'm doing, okay? I'm not trying to prove God's existence. I'm not trying to prove God doesn't exist. I'm not trying to say that the unconscious exists or that it doesn't. Like, I think we all have our own opinions. Like, really, like, at this point in my life, what matters to me, aside from, like, you know, the kids I work with and, like, my animals and those kinds of things, like, it's like, what do I truly believe? And why? Why do I believe it? How did this knowledge or this understanding, this belief just really stick itself to me? How did it really just get in there? And a lot of it goes back, just because I'm not very old, like I haven't lived a very long life. I haven't had that many relationships. So it's like a lot of it goes back to like these core relationships. Now, everyone knows I have borderline. So like to me, relationships are like kind of how in the past, not anymore, in the past, like how I categorized time periods of my life. You know what I mean? When I was with so-and-so, instead of saying 2020, I could just say in 2020. You know what I mean? Or when I was with so-and-so, talking about living at my old apartment, like when we lived together or whatever. Or even like not romantic relationships, like platonic relationships, like when I was friends with them. I think it's a bit of a coping skill. I think it's also a bit of deflection and refusal to take accountability and like my actions at the time and inaction too. Like I'm the type of person where like I get so depressed, so anxious, so overwhelmed, instead of doing anything about it, I shut down. Everybody's least favorite response, including mine. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so I try really hard now not to categorize my life by people I've been with or been involved with, and most specifically like people that have no relationship with me now or place in my life. Like I try really hard not to categorize periods of time by those people, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just wanted to give that before this because I'm in a new place, and I'm also in a new place like mentally. I think this has been a track I've been on for a while. It was like almost impossible to get to this, being in the living conditions I was in and like under the stress I was in. Like there's giving myself grace, there's really no way I could have done a whole lot with that. And there was a lot of external factors and things and stuff I'm still not going to come and run to the internet with, you know what I mean? But all that aside, I don't want anyone to think that I'm doing a hot take or like a welcome to your tape, you know, bit, because I'm not. And also, if you're like one of my situationships from the past 2 years in here watching this and thinking you will be mentioned, this is the only point. Like I really, like, just to make it clear, like I wish I didn't have to put it in relations to these people, because like we've been through a lot. I shouldn't even say we, like they don't want to be in the same category, let alone the same room as me, but it's whatever, right? Yeah, so like this is not hateful, this is not me yearning or longing. Of course I'm still sad, like I got blocked by a random dude, you know, I'm sure everybody's, anyways, it's fine. It doesn't matter, it's not about that. I truly wanted to talk about this because I think it's something that has been a really crazy thought to have for the past like 24 hours, and I've kind of just been like pacing around my room trying to figure out how to like express this, because again, it's one of those thoughts where like if you're over the age of 28, 29, you're probably like this bitch saying everything we already know. I know, but I'm experiencing it for the first time, so I want to talk about it, and people kind of like that in the last video. Not that I care what you freaks like, unless you're the pretty girls in my comment section. Hi, I love you, I sub to all of you. I don't have my subscriptions public, but I want you to know I did. And I do love your videos. Everybody that commented on the last video, that's like, you're so nice, thanks. Like I really don't get positive responses on social media that much to anything, but I also don't really put the effort in like that anymore like I used to. So it was really nice. It was a nice surprise. I feel it's important to give a little background to kind of put some puzzle pieces together, I guess, if you will. Never like real, not even in quotes, probably like real relationship I'd ever had, where we were like living together. Like real, like it was a real relationship. I went through some things. I don't know, I'm sure they did too. I was young, I was like, that definitely played a factor, just because I've talked about that before, where it's like there's nothing against that person in that regard, and I don't feel like it was a situation where I was like taken advantage of or anything to that degree. I've never really felt that way. I don't know if I've expressed it or come off like that, but I do think it's something I should say. Like, I've always dated people older than me. A lot of people have taken advantage of that. I truly do not feel in my heart of hearts that this person ever had that intention. Like, it was never like that, if that's what you're thinking. We dated for a long time. A long time for me, like over 2 years is huge. Even a month is huge, because like, you know, but so like well over 2 years we dated off and on. I was probably like the most unwell I had ever been at that point, and like,
what does she mean, inner voices? I don't think that's any of her business, but it's her job to ask questions. You are so dumb.
Like, very fresh into sobriety. Like, I think I had to have been under 2 years, like when we met, so I'm coming up on 7 now. It's like looking back, I'm just like, oh my god, like, oh my god, like 17-year-old, year and a half sober, just cold turkey stops all the meds they're on, thinking I'm on a healing journey, this, that, and the third. I moved back to Iowa. Yeah, so that's setting the scene. And like, before I had met this person, I had been with some very interesting people.
I'm a free guy, you know, that's not my style. I need to be free a little, so I let it go, you know?
I had a very interesting, loosely used term there, past with relationships, and just like partners, you know? The first person I ever dated, this is the briefest bit of this video, was a very unsafe and bad relationship, and that's like pretty much all I want to say about that. Besides the fact that it fucked me up for a very long time, and I'm kind of realizing in roundabout ways that it kind of still does. you know, but that took a lot of therapy. Like, that took a lot of therapy and a lot of time. So, like, we're not going to spend too much time on it because I genuinely really don't think I have to. I just think it's important to add, like, this person was also older than me, very off and on, and it was in contrast to the person I, like, actually fell in love with, a different person. Very, very, very unsafe and, like, unhealthy. I have not talked to them. I will never talk to them again, in case y'all were wondering. We have never talked since I've been back here. I never will. There will never be a time that bitch is not blocked on my phone. Like, that's how that went. And I always consider that to be, like, my first love. The one, you know what I mean? Not always, but I think pretty much all my childhood I did. Ick. Ooh, okay. Yeah. So pretty much all my childhood I considered that to be like my first love, right? Like my first heartbreak. And for sure it could have been the first heartbreak. I'll side with me there, but I don't know about first love. That's kind of a crazy way to put it. Because I was just young, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't get that you couldn't get it. Like, it's just the weird thing about being a kid and a teenager, you know? That's the weirdest part about it, is like this cathartic experience. It's like out of body. Like, everybody knows things you don't, and you want to know so bad, so you keep trying to do shit and like experience the world, but at the same time you're realizing all these things that people know because they're older are bad as fuck, and they're sad. It's just sad, you know? So, little depressing, right? Anyways, I get to Iowa. I guess Thomas and I dated before this. He is just a funny motherfucker, so shout out. We're good homies now. Appreciate him. I put that man through hell, and I really didn't have to. Like, it wasn't that serious. So like, we can laugh about it now, but not all these situations can we laugh about.
What you doing, son? Nothing. Just chilling. Killing.
The reason Thomas and I can laugh about it, because it was like a very short little fling type shit, and we were both at not great places in our lives, so it's just like, oh. It's just funny. He does owe me a song still. I need to actually remind him about that. He dated him before we broke up. I went a little wild. Little is an understatement. It's actually really bad. And it really had nothing to do with him. It just had everything to do with the fact that, like, I had not abandoned, but been forced to abandon, like, everything I knew and move back here to Iowa when I wasn't. And that was really hard in itself. Like, I had really difficult family dynamics, obviously, and that played a huge factor in, like, all of this as well, because this was coming to, like, a head where I was still talking to a lot of the people I don't talk to at all, and haven't for, like, years in my family, or just, like, in my circle, you know, of, like, friends that I would consider family. Anyways, so started dating dude, basically just, like, begged him so many times that he said yes. I'm not even sure he wanted to. For the first, I don't know how long, so sorry. But I got obsessed with him. I was just, like, really into it. He reminded me of Anakin from Star Wars, which I'm pretty sure I lied our whole relationship about liking. And I don't know, we were just, he pissed me off, and I love that. I don't know. But all that to say, when I was in it, and, like, I'm talking, like, we were in deep, y'all. Like, we were living together. And that in itself, wild, wild. I don't know if I would ever live with anybody again. Not because of them. Not at all because other people bother me in my space. I love having people in my space. I beg people to come, like, stay with me, like my friends. Like, I love having people here. If I could live in a Sister Wives type beat, I would, okay? But I am very weird. Like, really bizarre sometimes, and I can acknowledge that because I'm me, and I truly do love me, and I live with me alone every day. So I'm calling a spade a spade. Like, we had our moments.
We're already finishing each other's
Dinner.
sentences.
Very high highs, very low lows. Very low lows. Just to clock the tea a little bit. Like, looking back, low key, one of the most cathartic experiences of my life. Like, oh my god, you guys, like, never ever ever since, this is not to hype this person up or to be weird, okay, but like, I'm just saying, like, if you think about the first person you ever fell in love with where it was like mutual, and I want you to tell me how weird that shit got, because it got weird.
What the fuck? Is that loud?
Stop. And it was on both ends. Oh my god, you guys, like, some of the things I would never do again. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay.
I'm fine! No. It's not supposed to happen this way. As bad as I do,
I was on the phone with Keely a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about it because I was like kind of almost there to like getting it and verbalizing it, but I was just like, I don't know, I just feel so cringe when I think about it. Like, the shit I would say, the shit I would do, and I'm not talking about like mean or like cruel, I'm talking about lovey-dovey, I've never been like that in my whole life type shit. Like, oh my god, ew. Ew. I have never let another person get that close to me, and I've never gotten that close to another person in a relationship since. We're getting there, if you're wondering about this person I was with after, but yeah, it was just a lot. And Keely was like, you were just really comfortable with him, and I was like, that's it. You cooked. That's it. I was very comfortable. And I think it's because it's just like, for the first time you're like, oh my god, it's reciprocal, right? Like, it's being mirrored. Like, it's very much an experience where you give what you get, and like, if you give your all, like, you are getting your all back, but like, the second you pull back, like, I don't know a whole lot of people that are with their first loves. If you are, congrats, I guess, fucking flex, you little freaks, but I love that for you. But that was not me. We didn't end up breaking up. It was a very like big, messy thing. I got with this person, like the next person, and that was a whole drama on both ends. I left this relationship with this guy, like, probably in the worst way I've ever done to anybody, like, friend or relationship. I don't know why. Like, that was menacing behavior. Crazy shit. But again, not as an excuse, just giving like my own honest perception of it. Looking back, I don't know how many years later, I'm like, yeah, there was a lot of feelings, and it was either like, I love you so much, like, you're up here on the pedestal, or like, fuck you, you human fucking piece of garbage, I hate you, like, lower than the ground, you know. The scales of my Libra-ness. And then I met this person after, and there was a lot I could say about that. There was a lot I could say about that relationship. I don't want to say anything about that relationship in particular, because it kind of like, it was so different in a good way, different in a different way. That's the only way I can really make to say it, if that makes sense. It was different in a different way. That doesn't, it happened so quickly that it's like I was still mourning this great love of my life. I mean, I don't need to put it in quotations, it's whatever, but this love of my life, you know, and then I'm falling for somebody completely different, like, and it was a type of love where, like, it taught me a lot about myself. Like, it taught me a lot about how I handle things and how I needed to change. Like, that was the relationship where it, like, brought every issue I've ever had to the surface and said, here you go. Like, I haven't been with her for years, and still, it's causing me to, not her, just like that period of time in my life, like, causes me to reflect so deeply on, like, what do I want? Like, what am I doing with my life? And, like, how am I treating myself? Because, like, I had never felt so well taken care of. Like, she, when we met, and for a lot of the relationship, definitely not all, but a lot of the relationship was, like, very attentive. Here's the thing. I'm just like a princess.
Of course.
Like, if you talk nice to me and buy me like a $2 coffee and cook me lunch that I've already bought, like, the food for in my own apartment, or like sit with me while I'm in the bathroom, like you sit in the bathroom while I'm taking a bath, like, I'm already in love with you. I'm already in love with you. That's just, like, I just like to be catered to be honest. And, like, she was great at that. I think that was, like, very much so, like, what, like, really drew me in was, like, I wanted another level of, like, that relationship to me. Like, I wanted the level where it was, like, we're, like, married, you know, like, this is a partnership. Like, I think that's what I was seeking out. And, like, nobody I've ever dated, like, it's been a lot of talk, but I've, like, literally never had anybody I've dated seriously even attempt to talk about, like, things like getting engaged years down the line. Like, they won't even talk about that with me. You know, of course they're like, well, of course I want to marry you, I want to have babies with you, this, that, and the third. No, they don't. They don't. And that's okay. Like, that's the thing. Like, it is okay. Because I've been that bitch too. I'm not going to get up here and sit on a pedestal and say, well, I'm so much better than my exes because I've never done that. Bitch, I've done worse. Bitch, I've done worse than you. Oh my God. Like, that's the thing. It doesn't matter. Like, we are all our own people. As shitty as these two treated me at certain points, I have done 10 times shittier in my life. Like, not even just to other people, to myself. That is how life works. We are not perfect people. And holy shit, I didn't realize you are the one producing your own guilt. I am the one producing that guilt. They're not here telling me that I'm a terrible person and that I need to go. They're not. Like, I'm blocked on everything. I don't even have to see them. You know what I mean? So that part. But it's also like, none of these thoughts, and I'll honestly, like, I'd go on a limb and say, like, half of the experiences I've had after these breakups and these, like, significant relationships in my life really ended not when we were on a break and going back to each other every month, like, not when I was still searching them up every day, not when I was, like, sending my little spot, not then. Like, when I truly stopped giving a fuck and only gave fucks about me and mine, my life changed completely. And unless I entered that stage, but also unless I went through those relationships, I never would have gotten to this point. I really wouldn't have. It didn't need to be those people. It needed to be that type of relationship. I'm not saying the terrible shit needed to happen, because some shit that happened was absolutely terrible, and like I would never want to relive that again. So that's why we're not together. Like, I don't know, it's so simple. Oh my god, you guys, it's so simple. And I've just been like scared. I've just been scared. Like, I talk about how I have such a hard time opening up and like feeling like I'm gonna fall in love again, and I've really been, can I be honest? I've really been thinking about that heavy lately. But the challenge to myself, I am very Kierkegaardian in nature, and I've been reading a lot of Carl Jung and Nietzsche, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm a bit pessimistic, okay? I challenged myself to look at it from a non-pessimistic or negative, like, light. If I really took all of the guilt, all of the shame, all of the blame, the pain, oh, that rhymes, okay? If I took all that out of it, right, and I solely just focused on what was left, it was a lot of good. It was a lot of positive. And I'm so proud of myself now, and I'm so much more confident and like happy, and like body is tea, mind is tea, friends are tea, like life is so much better. I don't think it's because I'm on my own. I think it's just because I've gotten to this point. I think this is how it was supposed to play out, is what I'm trying to say. And like, you never know. Like, you never know till it's gone. Like, I always took that in the sense where it's like, well, I'm gonna be mourning this forever. And like, yeah, I miss the fuck out of people sometimes. Like, sometimes, like even last night, like what brought it on is I'm sitting there watching Fruits Basket being like, damn, I literally remember this specific moment watching it with this person, and like no, I'm not gonna get into it, but it's like, you know, I can still remember that vividly. And it just, for the first time, like it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt to remember it. Like, yes, my exes are getting engaged and married and having babies and all these things I really want to do. And all I can think about now is like, yeah, but you really want to do them. And it will happen when it's supposed to. I really don't think my conception of the universe and God would ever let me be with another person on that level unless it's gonna work for an extended period of time, and like unless it's gonna be productive and healthy. Like, I just don't think that is possible. And I think even if it's not true, like it does help me to believe that like these people that have come and gone since these two big relationships in my life that really shaped me as a person, like all these situationships and little flings, you know, that have come and gone since, there's a sense of protection in not ending up with those types of people. And like, I'm not saying they're terrible people, some are not great, some are fucking straight weirdos in a bad way. It's like, you know, the end of Ghost World where she fucks Steve Buscemi and realizes, I just fucked an old man who's addicted to the 1920s, and I need to get this magical bus and get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, because that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just like, oh my god, rose-colored glasses off. I don't want to fuck with anyone right now. I mean, you have to really, 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 like, pique my interest. You have to really, 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 like, not be weird. Because it's just, like, I think a lot of times people are like, you're so picky. I'm just not 17 anymore, and I won't stand for people being, like, weirdos. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, those rose-colored glasses are off. That's all I can think to compare it to. It's just like, I don't see people the same anymore. And I feel like I kind of see through that facade they all have, like, so much fucking quicker now. Like, I feel like the most myself I've ever been. And, that feels pretty good, actually. I don't know, I'd really like to... I would really like to fall in love again. I'd be interested to see what the third time around is like, if there is a third time. But if there's not, I mean, I'm torn. I'm like, this can't be it. Like, this can't be it, because I know I'm a hopeless romantic, but what I will say, the first time I met both of the people I dated the longest, I knew immediately. I was like, oh, I love this bitch.
Sounds like a bar.
Like, that's just me. Like, I do know. And it's been proven back to back. So I'm like, oh, T. Like, and that's why I say, like, I don't know. I think there's maybe only been one time since where I felt that way upon meeting someone, and we are not talking, so it's fine. It is what it is. Finished look. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a coffee now. I was about to say I'll call you guys back. I won't call you back, but I will be back on here. Wow, okay, lighting. Yeah, the nicest part about this place before I go is that I can actually open my windows, so. Anyways, see you in a bit. Being back. That was an extremely chaotic trip. Trader Joe's was so busy. I was thinking about it. I think the best way I can, like, wrap this up, put it in perspective, is like, okay, Plato's allegory of the cave. Anyways, that text though. If you know, you know. If you don't know, it's okay, babe. I'll hold your hand and guide you through it. I am in, okay, like maybe it's just easier to explain it. Plato, Socrates' little mentor-y, little student. I think they were kind of had a thing going, Brokeback style. I don't know.
You want to switch? I wouldn't mind sleeping out there.
That ain't the point. The point is we both ought to be in this camp.
I don't know. That's just me. Socrates never actually wrote anything. Kind of iconic for that. Kind of iconic, but I used to not really be into it, but now I'm a little bit more into Socrates. Plato is obviously very biased because he's just like, everything Socrates says, Bible, correct, you know, so it's, take it as you will. But Plato's famous allegory of the cave is probably like one of the first things that people learn about in philosophy. It's like one of the, you know, like one of the staples, right, of an intro to philosophy, right? So the allegory goes is basically, so imagine like a cave, right? And there are people in this cave chained to the wall, like their neck is changed, their feet are chained, their head is changed, so they can't turn their head to the left or the right, they're only looking straight. And all they can see is these shadow figures on the cave wall, okay? That's their whole life. And like to pass the time, the only thing they know how to do is to play guessing games as to like, what does this shape mean? T, right? And they can't look at the person sitting next to them, so they don't even know what a person looks like. They don't know what they look like, they don't know what these other voices are, but whoever is able to like guess the fastest what the shadow means is like the head honcho kind of guy, right? You know what I mean? Okay, so that's the lowest level that we're talking about right here. You're in the cave, underground, only looking at shadows on a wall, and you don't know what these shadows mean. You have no conception of anything except for shadows and being chained to this wall. This is your whole life, like from infancy, right? Okay, picture this. Your chains break off. At first it's going to be painful. You're like, what does this mean? Why can I move? And obviously it's going to hurt to move around if you've been chained to a wall that long, right? And you're not going to nut later. You're like, what the fuck? Like, there's other people here. Like, what is a person? Like, what the fuck is this, right? So let's say you muster the courage to leave, because honestly, most people would be like, T, I'm not going to leave. That's all you know, right? And you're trying to tell these people, yo, like, I'm gonna leave. Like, there's something more than these shadows on the wall. Like, you're looking around and you can see, right? You can finally see, like, that there's an actual exit you can leave out of this cave, and you can see there's more than just the wall in front of you, feel more than just the wall behind you type shit. And they're like, no, bro, we don't believe you. We can't see any of it. We're gonna stay here and guess what these figures on the wall mean. And you leave, right? You're walking out the cave. As you're walking, there is a pathway, okay? So if, like, the people sitting, here I am, I'm staring straight at the shadow figures on the wall. You walk around me, okay? So you walk up this path, up a little, like, cliff ledge within the cave. You know what I mean? So you can see over this wall that these people are chained onto. And you can see that there is actually fire creating or illuminating these shadows, like casting these shadows, and these shadows are actually objects and people walking back and forth on this little ledge bridge walkway type thing. So this huge fire is what's casting these shadows from what people are carrying around, just passing by, minding their business. That's already blowing your mind, because you're like, whoa, those shadows are not real, right? So you're going up another level. This is what we call the physical realm, okay? So this is the very base would be. First level is images, right? So you're literally only seeing what's in front of you, okay? The second level, when you're starting to exit the cave and you're up on the ledge seeing the fire, is your belief system, right? So everything you've believed to be true, purely based off just your physical sight of it, is suddenly not true. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? So you decide, let me mosey out of this cave. Like, what the fuck? Keep in mind, you don't even know what a cave is. All these words are very subjective in this, right? Okay, so you exit. You're like, it's blinding, the light.
Burned!
Let's go.
You can't look up. You've been in a cave your whole life. How many times am I going to say cave in this? So you exit and you're like, I can't see anything. So you wait till it's nighttime. You only come out at nighttime, and in the moonlight reflecting on water, you've come across a body of water. And that's how you see light, like an actual light source for the first time. And you can look at objects in the reflection of the water, if that makes sense. So like, say a cat moseys on up and you've never seen a cat before. And it's kind of like, it's too unbelievable, too unreal to you at that point to be able to face it head on. That's like the metaphor for nighttime and looking at it through the reflection, right? Now we're in the intelligible realm, okay? So just think of it as a chart, like 4 quadrants. I could show you my notes, but it wouldn't make sense because none of you can read cursive. But we're in the intelligible realm. So this is the realm of ideas and thoughts, okay? Okay, so here when we're in the cave, this is when you're exiting and seeing the fire. Here we are when you're seeing the reflections of things, seeing the moonlight, looking at the ground. So you're getting to a more, things are becoming realer, right? And then after a little bit of time, when you're able to kind of like train yourself to get used to the brightness, you're living in the knowledge of forms, okay? So you're seeing things as they truly are in the physical sense. You're not seeing a shadow or an image cast onto something like water. You're seeing them for what they are, okay? So all that to say, let me go put my notebook away. Now that we've done that, a little lesson there. If I was going to say what point I'm at in my life, like I'm definitely out of the physical realm, definitely in that intelligible realm area, but I feel like very strongly I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, I'm looking at things with the cover of nightfall. Like I'm not able to really face everything just yet and see all the truth there is in situations like these just yet, or my actions, or like, you know, but I'm getting there. Like I'm out of the cave. Like I'm done believing what's in front of me just because it's in front of me, you know, and I'm past the point where those beliefs are being shaken to the core. I'm past the point of realizing that I can be delusional and that I put people on this pedestal. Like I'm past that. I can see that and acknowledge that from an outside perspective, but I'm not fully there yet. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm ready, like, for another relationship and to love.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
And I think that I've been putting a lot of pressure on these people after these relationships because I expect them to be ready too and to feel worthy of it. I think a big thing that people I have tried to get with, like a big issue for them, not to put you in your place, but it's just like, I don't think they feel worthy, and I don't think they're ready for it. Not in the sense where like they don't want it, maybe they don't, but it's just like, you can't tell somebody something you don't tell yourself like that. Like if you can't tell yourself I love you, there's no way you can tell another person that. There's not. And like there have been points in my life where I did not love myself, but I still love someone else. That is so unhealthy and sad. Like it's really sad. A relationship is not, it's not ever going to be 50-50, but it shouldn't be 100-0. You know what I mean? And when you're riding on E, you're not going to get very far. So I think I've made it a long way. But yeah, like these sayings, like you never really know till it's gone type shit, like they're just making sense for the first time in my life. Like I've always kind of had an understanding of that based in like a grief kind of sense. With people passing away, like unfortunately that's a thing that's happened quite a bit to me, and a lot of other people I know. Like that is just life. It is one of the shittier parts of life, but I think of it like it's really only shitty to those that survive the loss, you know what I mean? Because my conception of just like being unalived has just changed so much as well. Like I feel so much more peace and comfort with it now. I don't feel anxiety about it every day, all day. I'm not like, I don't know, like to me, I'm very Descartes coded. Like I'm like, we could all just be in a dream. You could all be a figment of my imagination. Like, is this even real? Is this even real? Like, I don't know. And even if it is, it's just like, it's really not like, it's not that big of a deal. Am I gonna be sitting here thinking about these as like the worst times in my life when I have everything I want, or reminiscing with like sort of a sweet nostalgic energy? I think the latter. You know, like I put a lot of pressure on other people to be light years ahead of where they're supposed to be at that moment in time. And I think I could be a whole lot gentler with it, and that's another thing I'm realizing. You know, for those rare cases where I do like someone and it's a couple month thing or whatever, I think I expect it to be instant like it is for me. But I've not been very understanding of like, I've put in so much work to get there intentionally. Like I've intentionally been doing the work to do that. Not a lot of people do. Not everybody does. Not at this point in their life. Like there are so many other things to be worried about. It's like, for me, I'm such a Libra. Like love has been a priority for me. Okay, like I've been trying to find the one since I came into this world. So it's like that's always been on my mind. But I do have to actively remind myself, like, not everybody is there with it, and that is okay. yeah, because like it does get defeating, like when I go on dates and it's like like that was terrible, or like I try and get on dating apps and that's also terrible. Like it's really defeating sometimes, but at the same time it's like, honestly, thank God I'm not wasting my time figuring that out about people. If you see me more than once ever, that's huge, because I don't, usually after one date, one interaction, I'm just kind of like, wash my hands of that, like never again. So, and I'm not rude with it. I used to be. I do like to bully men. I find it fun.
Punch me in the face? Oh! See what I'm saying? Good night.
But yeah. I think that's where I'm at. I'm looking at things from a more realistic perspective, but like I'm not really ready to like face it all yet. Benny Blanco, Selena Gomez's fiance, I actually am in love with him now. Like I love them as a couple. The new Selena Gomez album was everything I needed to hear. I, in my heart of hearts, feel that I am Selena Gomez. So I was like, yep, the girls that get it, you know. But he said, I can't remember what interview, it might have been their Hot Ones, where he was like, I am dating everybody she's ever been with, and same for her with me. Like, you bring all that baggage in, whether you've worked through it or not, and like, I think that's really fucking true. And like, it's kind of been making me take a step back, which is crazy. I'm like, girl, I get why you married him. I would have put a ring on, I would have proposed to him. Like, fuck, he's so wise. No one told me he was like wise and esoteric with it. And he's kind of a cutie. He's actually kind of cute. I really like him. He'd be doing like the little toe art. He gets his toenails painted. Oh my God, he's kind of cute. Aside from that, it's so true though. It's so true. And like, there's something to be said. I keep saying it and I didn't really get why again until now, where it's just like, there is a reason I haven't brought any of that up or like really gotten into my past and into depth about things I went through in these relationships. And I'm not talking about like people being mean to me or anything like that. I'm just talking about like life events that happened while I was in these relationships, and obviously it affects it. You know, like I dealt with really adult stuff really young, and if you know, you know, like that changes you. It changes you, especially when I'm at this like young adulthood point in my life where I'm just coming into being and like understanding and like getting my own, you know, like I'm becoming my own person finally. And I don't want to go into my next relationship and have that be a negative. Like I really just want to like stand in my truth and be like, yep, this is what happened, like this is how I was, this is how I've changed. And like I think the problem is I haven't found somebody who respects that yet. I mean, I kind of dip my toes in the water, like I'll make a little joke, like they ask a question and I'll give like a half-assed answer with a little bit of information, but it's just like people's reactions can be very cruel to questions they ask willingly, which is crazy. And I think that like, honestly, again, good thing, because I wouldn't want to be with someone like that, you know, but it is disheartening. If you feel that way, I'm here to tell you, babe, me too. Like, it fucking sucks when you think someone is so cute, so different, and literally first time hanging out, they say some crazy ass shit, you know, about like something you've been through, but now you know you can never tell them about it, you know. It's just, I also think I didn't understand that, like, when I was in love, the two times, like, when I've been in love before, like, that is such a sacred anything. Like, actually, like, I talked about comfort, but like, I don't even know if that's the right word, because it's like we could read each other's minds. Like, they knew me so well, probably better than I knew me, which was like part of the reason those relationships fell the fuck off. Honestly, like, I had no sense of self, no direction, no purpose. Like, I was depressed and anxious and like fucking all the things, right? And now that I've like calmed down and like really worked hard on myself and getting my life together, I'm like, damn, I really wish I had someone to share it with at that level again. You know, like, intimacy is so intimate and it is so vulnerable, and like, I don't.
Can I give you a big hug? No, thanks.
I wish I was, how do I say it? After those two experiences, I have not been as willing to be as open as I used to be with that. And I think part of that is like, I was immediately attracted to and comfortable with those people, and like, there was something in me that knew these were going to be people I needed to be with. I felt this need, right? Whatever you make of that. And I haven't really felt that. I've gotten close, you know, with other people, but it's really hard to be honest and open about like some of the really tough things I've went through in the past like 5-6 years. You know, like, people don't even know that I'm sober. I just tell them I don't drink, and they offer it every 20 minutes, which is really annoying, you know, because it's a whole nother rant. But if someone says they're sober, I like, maybe don't keep offering them drinks. But, you know, I digress. It's just like, yeah. I'm out of the cave, y'all, and it feels good, and like, I know I'm worthy of everything I want and desire in life. I think part of the holdup with realizing that was just, again, like, that massive amount of guilt I have been carrying since my relationships ended with these people, and even before then. Like, I think last thing I'll say about them, like, honestly, kudos, because like, when I came into those relationships, I had so much baggage, like Louis duffel bags full, you know what I mean, of just trauma, and I was just fully unpacking it on them. And like, it takes a very specific type of person to still fall in love with someone like that, you know. So I know that if someone can fall in love with me at my worst, there is no reason why someone wouldn't fall in love with me at my best. But there's also part of me that knows, like, it won't be right until it's right. I'm not picky, I'm discerning. I think a lot of people lack discernment, and I think a lot of people lack self-awareness. And I know when I'm being picky or just a bitch. I do, because I love to be both those things. I think being a bitch is fun. I think being picky makes you cool. But it's like, when it comes to like my taste in people, I am not picky. I actually don't really have much of a preference. So it's just kind of like, I always know leaving that interaction, like, that's not somebody I should see again. Or like, they say something, and I'm not talking like I've had people be like, I don't think the LGBTQ community is real on the first date. I'm like, do you know who you're on a date with, you dumb fuck? Like, that type of shit, you know, like, they're perfect until that. And I'm just like, I need to stop thinking people are so well-rounded at 25 to 30 years old. They're not. And even when they're 45 and up, they're really not either. Like, it'll be right when it's right. It'll happen when it happens. it sucks being lonely. Everybody hates being lonely. They're lying if they say they don't, and everyone has their own ways of coping. Mine just happens to be getting on the internet and telling crazy stories, dyeing my hair, painting my nails, petting my dog.
We will still be friends forever.
Watching Yellow Jackets. We're not even going to talk about the episode yesterday because it pissed me right the fuck off. This in conclusion to say I've canceled Alms going forward. I really thought I was like, let me just get on dating apps and actually go on. I'm gonna actually go on dates. A weekend of freeness in front of you. Like,
mommy, a girl behind you.
I got nothing fucking planned. Nothing fucking planned. Laundry. That's about it. Yeah, I'm also making tater tot casserole. Yeah, I'm making that. So, I don't know. I really I'm feeling lonely today. Like today I am, but it's like tomorrow I could feel like that bitch, so it doesn't really, it just comes and goes. Like, I'm almost there with it though. Like, I'm almost there, and like, I will say, like, I love being single, and I love living alone, and I love me, and like spending time with me, and that's a big thing, you know? So I'm not too terribly disappointed that I'm not with someone right now, or that no one's coming in on a white horse. Like, that's kind of fine with me, honestly, because I'd kind of be icked out if you did that. I'd rather you just approach me calmly and collectively, you know? But yeah, I do feel a little bit like Shrek when Fiona goes to marry Lord Farquaad, like when he's sitting there at the table. That's kind of me. Right now. I'm happy to be moved. I'm really grateful for that. I can actually have people over here. Not that anyone besides Kevin and Keely will be over here, but you know, maybe someday I'll make friends. Yeah, I'll share this tiny one bedroom with my other half. Funny again. Yeah, I'm just like so grateful. You guys are so nice to me. I don't know why. And all the comments and everything. So thanks. If this video didn't make any sense and you think it's dumb, I don't really care. If you liked it, I get it, and sending you some good vibes because it's rough. It really is rough out here. But it'll get better. It has to get better. It can't like get worse. Like, it's already been so bad at so many points in my life. I'm like, it literally, it can't. And also life doesn't just, you know, it goes up and down. So it's like we're on like the middle of that incline. That's a decent place to be. It's exciting because that means better is coming in. If you were already like at your best, had everything you ever wanted, it'd be so boring. So boring. And you would find ways to be miserable. I know I would. Like, if I had $1 million right now, I'd still find a reason to be pissed the fuck off. So, I don't know, but thanks for, I can't believe I'm over 500 subs. Like 503 now. That's so cool, guys. Genuinely cool. I don't know who y'all are, but like, welcome. This is me. I mean, the pink hair is cute. I should have showed y'all it when it was more vibrant, but I'm gonna touch it up probably tomorrow, so leave me alone. And these curls are like 2 days old, so I gotta wash this out. Alright, well, that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else to add. If I did, that fucking sucks, but I'm not gonna stand in my bathroom for any or so. Bye!